Thank you, Diego. Our final speaker is Carolyn Kent.
Woo!
She is class of 2017, originally from North Carolina, and her fun fact is she has two sisters who are both 2 years old. They're cuties.
Hey guys, all right, last one. I feel this pressure like I gotta perform. So I want to start things off with a little call and response. We'll see who gets the reference. But can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'll go on then. So this is a story about true love. That kind of love that you get when, through the thick and the thin, that has seen you at your worst, but still makes you feel like a queen all at once. And I remember the moment when it happened, too. You see, I met this girl when I was 10 years old, and what I loved most was she had so much soul. That was the time that I fell in love with hip-hop. I was sitting in my living room, listening to the beautiful rhymes of Lauryn Hill, actually. My mom gave me the tape of the Fugees for my birthday. And there was this one track that really spoke to me. Some of you may know it. So it's M to the A to the S to the K. Put the mask on your face just to make the next day. I had my identity. I camouflaged my identity, when I walked down the streets. And at 10 years old, that really resonated with me. For those of you who don't know me, I am... my mom was born and raised in Colombia, Cali, Colombia, and my dad is from the States. And they are polar opposites. Like, think Modern Family, like Jay and Gloria, like that's my family. My dad is like super corporate, white, gringo, deadhead, and my mom is not. And so, depending on which side of the family I was hanging out with, I felt this need to either play up the Kent side or play up the Escobar side. And my parents got divorced when I was 6, and so it was just difficult to have to constantly go back and forth between these opposite cultures. And at school, it was even harder. So I was never Latina enough for the Latino kids. Like, my name was too white, or my skin was too white, or I wasn't from Miami, or I don't know. Like, it was just never enough. And then with the white kids, I wasn't white enough. And I remember a friend of mine was like, my mom says that I can't go to your house because she can't understand your mom when she speaks English. I was like, my mom's been here for 15 years. I think she can speak English just fine, thank you. But that was just the reality. And so I actually ended up finding a home and a comfort in the Black community. It was easier for me to be friends within the Black community and be an outsider than it was to play up one side of me as a white person or one side of me as a Latina. And that's when I was introduced to the unconditional love that was hip-hop, that just kind of, you know, took me for what I was, just this mixed kid misunderstood. So there's another reason that I love hip-hop so profoundly, and I think Kanye actually sums it up pretty well. So he says that, having money isn't everything, but not having it is. So every day, money was an issue and was a struggle for me when I was growing up. I remember the first 2 things that would always go out at the end of the month, it was the phone bill and the cable bill. And so for a long time, we just didn't have a phone. And I lived in an apartment complex at the time and would run across the street, because this was back in the day when there were payphones. Remember those things? And so I'd run across the street to the payphone, and I didn't have any quarters because you had to save those for the laundry. And if you got really good, there's like 5 seconds when you could say your name. And so you could say your message really, really fast, and you didn't charge your friends, and it was great. So it'd be like, hey, this is Carolyn, do you want to play? And call me back at blah, 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 number. And then you'd sit there and you'd wait, and you'd see if the person would actually call you back. And it's like, it's just so absurd, sometimes thinking, like, I can't imagine being a parent and, like, picking up the phone and being like, what the fuck? Like, this little kid just, like, rambling off trying to make a play day? Like, that doesn't make any sense. What else? Like, I remember going around to the apartment complex, the little, like, mailbox stations, and I wanted to, like, somehow help my family make money so badly at, like, 11 years old. And, like, Babysitter's Club was a big thing back then. Remember those books? And so I made these signs of, like, babysitting, available, like, really cheap, and, like, I, like, cut, like, you know, the little strips of paper you can write your phone number on, and I mean, nobody called me. Maybe it was because we didn't have a phone half the time. But like, I figured, like, if I'm taking care of my siblings, you know, why can't I take care of other people's kids? Thank God that didn't happen. Like, I don't know what sane mom would let an 11-year-old take care of their kid, but whatever. The beauty of being a kid is that you don't have any shame. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of testing it out, and that's great. But that sense of shame really started to build as I got older. And actually, I moved from Gaithersburg, Maryland to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And that was a huge culture shock for me. And I thought I was, like, living the high life, because for the first time I had my own room. And at 14, I was like, yeah, I got my own room. This is sweet. But then I started to make friends, and I went over to their houses, and they're in these, like, huge mansions with, like, pools in their backyard, and I felt so self-conscious. My family, we have been on and off with food stamps. So food stamps have upgraded over time, and it's actually a debit card. And the thing is, though, it's just got this big-ass American flag on it, and it's so embarrassing, because you're in the grocery store, and it's like everybody knows. Like, everyone sees this American flag. Like, oh, no, it's cool. Like, Uncle Sam, the government's got it. You know, no worries. Heaven forbid you try to get the organic grapes instead of the regular grapes, because you're actually not allowed to purchase certain things with food stamps. And so it's just, it was always embarrassing. And this feeling of being lesser than, it was so shameful for me, and it was kind of like my scarlet letter. But again, turned to hip hop, and it got me. Like, it understood my struggle. It had examples of people who went from nothing and went to something. And not only did it understand me, but it inspired me. It inspired me to hustle. It inspired me to work. And I'm not the smartest, and I'm not the fastest or the most athletic, but I can work my ass off. And hip-hop inspired me to be better, like any true love should. So fast forward, you meet certain people in your life, and they influence you, and I was fortunate enough to be able to go to a good school and land a good job. And so it's 2008, the economy goes to shit, and I'm okay. I have a job. Like, I've made it, you know? It's amazing. I'm great. I'm, like, buying stuff for my mom, for my sister, for my family, can take care of expenses, living in a nice place. And there's a song at the time, the Soulja Boy song. Every great story starts with the Soulja Boy song. It's like, hop up out the bed, put my swag on, take a look in the mirror, say, what's up? That's like how I felt. I was like, I got this. Got my swag back. And so I needed to buy a car. So I go out. For some reason, I don't know, I was like, I want a Z4. Like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna test drive this, like, great car, put the top down, go to the countryside of North Carolina, get to go really fast around the curves. It's super fun. I'm like, yes, I made it. I'm going to have a nice car finally. And I didn't buy it that night, but I went home and just turned the music on like I always do. And, you hear a song like a million times, and for whatever reason, wherever your head's at, sometimes it speaks to you. And so a Nas song came on that I've heard a ton of times, and he says, what do you base your happiness on? Material, women, and large paper. That means you're inferior, not major. It's like, damn, Nas. You're calling me out. I was feeling good about myself. Like, what's going on here? Shit. But again, like a true love is supposed to do, it's calling me out on my shit. And I'm not here, my message isn't about not having nice things. I was overcompensating for this deep unhappiness that I felt inside of me. I thought that I could finally feel greater than if I bought a bunch of stuff and if I had the labels, and I could fill this void that I felt inside of me with shit. And so a month later, I, despite my family not agreeing with this decision at all, except for my sister, I decided to pack everything, 2 suitcases, get on a plane, and leave everyone and everything behind. So it was 2 years in the Peace Corps, serving in rural Guatemala. They were the most amazing and terrifying 2 years of my life. And so glad that I made that decision, and it really put things into perspective. And so fast forward a bunch of years, and now I'm here at Sloan. And I remember when I got into Sloan, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, guess what? I got into MIT. She's like, great, where's that? I was like, oh, it's up in Boston. And she was happy for me, but, Boston's farther away from North Carolina. And so she was a little sad. And then that night, my abuelito, my grandfather, he calls me. And this is all in Spanish, but he's like, so what's this I hear about you getting a job at AT&T? No, abuelito, it's MIT. It's a school. And, it's like this thing that I've been working so hard for 2 years, and I'm the first person in my family to get any type of master's, anything, and I should be so proud, but I'm here, and I feel this need again to put a mask on my face and to be ashamed of my past. And I'm just, I'm totally out of my element, and I come from nonprofit and all these business people and new friends and new faces. And, I just, again, have to think, and I turn to hip hop for guidance, because there's something wrong when I listen to Justin Bieber more than Biggie. I mean, I love the Biebs, but this is just not right. And so reason number 50 bajillion that I love hip-hop is that they're the originators of sampling. And so like a hot song now is actually comprised of bits and pieces from artists of the past. And so anything from Nina Simone to Run DMC to things that are more current now too. And like hip hop, I need to do that as well, and pay tribute to my past as it makes up who I am today. And so part of that is standing in front of people that I've never even met before, telling stories that some of my best friends hadn't even heard. So if nothing else, I just want to leave you with a little tidbit that my man Common tells me now and again. It's just that your whole being is beautiful. Your whole being is beautiful. And so, y'all could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you.